Ben. Hi.
Hi. Are we recording?
How are you?
Are we here? We're
We're
recording.
recording.
Hi,
We're
friends.
here.
We're
Hi,
back for
friends.
another episode of Sacred Silliness
Sacred
with the
silliness
Lord
episode with the Lord,
Jesus
Evelyn and
Christ.
I. May the Lord be with you. Amen.
Okay. Well,
This episode is going to be about intuition in life.
which I am so excited. I've been obviously talking to my family because I'm visiting home right now. I've been talking to my family a little bit about it. And I was telling them that I swear if I recorded this episode at any other point in my life in the past year, I don't think that I would have been able to speak on it coming from a place of truth and coming from a place of heart. But now that I'm where I'm at in my journey, I really, really feel like this is the proper time to touch on it because I'm finally listening to my intuition. I'm finally not shutting out that inner voice that was really trying to speak to me, and I'm just really, really, really excited to touch on this because I'm finally listening to her.
I'm really excited to dive into it
Yeah.
with you about your intuition and your voice
Yeah.
specifically, your inner dialogue.
It is such an important thing I think in anyone's life because there's so many decisions that you have to make that it's you could go either way. It kind of feels like a big fork in the road when it's what path do I want to choose? And I think every single human being runs into that dilemma at some point because that's life and that's how it works. But when you're able to listen to your intuition and you're able to listen to your gut and what your body and what your soul and what your highest self, whatever you want to call it, is saying to you, that's when you start living your truth. And I think it's cool. I think it's cool the way the chakra system works because you kind of have to connect with your truth and move up and up and up and feel your truth first and then speak your truth, and then you'll be able to know and realize your truth, and then you have to feel it and then you have to speak it, and I don't know, connect to intuition. I don't know if any of that made sense, y'all, but it made sense in my brain.
It does make sense. Also, for reference, Evie pointed to her heart chakra and then her throat chakra and then her
Oh,
sixth
so true.
chakra.
Yes.
This is just so good because as you're speaking about this and talking about feeling it first, something I think that's the first step because it's the hardest part to trust. Once you move up the first three chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra, especially you've gotten past the first two, let's call it the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You're out of survival mode. You're out of desire and pleasure mode and seeking those instant desires and pleasures. And then now you're moving into your solar plexus, which is your confidence.
Yeah.
And we learn in the lucid body technique, which is an acting technique by Faye Simpson. When you move up to your solar plexus, this is the part where you will walk around the room and act out whether we feel the chakra imploded or exploded. And if it's imploded or lack of energy and confidence in the chakra, it's, oh, I'm a loser. I can't do anything right. I'll never get it done. I can't achieve anything. And that's coming from a place of complete distrust in yourself. You have no trust that you're able to accomplish anything and yada, yada. So it's once you move past the solar plexus and you can heal that part and go from the limiting belief of I can't do it to, oh, I can. And not only can I do things, but I can also trust that my body and my spirit and my vessel are going to show me and tell me the right messages, and I'm going to feel it in my body when something is right for me. I'm going to feel it and I can trust that feeling. So now you're out of this solar plexus chakra and now you're moving up to the heart, and your heart is going to be like, this feels wrong. This feels bad. I'm tight. I'm feeling not good in my body when I'm in this situation or when I've made this decision. And then it's like, okay, let me try a different action or decision. And then your heart and your shoulders literally like sink in and you're like, this feels good. This feels right in my body. It's like a somatic experience, and you can't experience things somatically if you don't trust your body to know what's right for
Yeah.
you.
And then you move up to your throat, which is authenticity, and being able to trust yourself and being able to feel your truth and then eventually live your truth. To have this idea of aligned versus not aligned can be confusing and a little bit too much of a box that you're putting yourself in, but I do think that when you start aligning with your truth and your self-expression and your authenticity, the synchronicities start adding up and you're able to better decipher what aligns with your truth, what aligns with your authentic life. And that's where the intuition, it's just cool how it's a building block from the very bottom. And like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like I always loved that theory so much because you really can't attain anything on the top without the support from the foundation. And that's the whole concept of the chakra system, and just climbing the ladder closer and closer and closer to God and self realization. And not even self realization, self transcendentalism. Is that what it's called? Girl, it's been years since I studied that, but you get what I'm saying. You transcend the self and you connect with God. It's climbing the ladder from ego, reality, this physical world, to God, heaven on earth, and all the things. So it's cool to open up that third eye chakra. And the coolest thing, dude, literally during my yoga class this morning, during the like shavasana slash meditation that she was guiding, she was talking about the third eye and intuition. It was like the fact that this is fucking happening right now and we're recording, how like I'm literally learning to trust myself, and I'm actively within myself working on my solar plexus chakra at this period of my life, but also the intuition and the trusting myself and the deciphering and all the things. So just seeing how it's all kind of falling into place has been a really beautiful thing, and I'm super excited to dive deeper into this topic with you.
Yes. Me too.
Yippee!
I want to, I don't know if I kind of want to like jump right in and ask you some questions about your recent discoveries, because we've talked a little bit about it, but I know you have more to say, and more like there's some decisions that you've made recently. I don't know if you want to talk specifics or just talk generally about it, but um decisions that have had you flipping back and forth between, okay, I want to listen to my intuition, but is my intuition telling me that this is right for me, or is this not right for me? And if I choose that it is right for me, is it because of these reasons, or is it because of these reasons? And like kind of just navigating that, and then like finding a way to quiet all of that noise, I guess, and all of the different reasons why it could be this or that, to then come into like the full truth and the bottom line of the decision that you felt was the right one in your body. How did you decipher that? What was that journey like?
The journey has been a really interesting one, and I think it started about 2 years ago. And it started when I decided to listen to my inner voice more than the outer world, and kind of realizing like a lot of the conditioning within myself were just everyone else's opinions being thrown at me throughout my life, and me taking that in and not considering how I felt about something, how I wanted to approach something. It was kind of just me feeling kind of overpowered by everyone else's voice and opinions. And so 2 years ago, I really wanted to come deeper within myself and start listening to how I felt and how I thought instead of considering the outside world. And so, beginning on this journey, it kind of opened up the door to listen to my inner world. I started meditating and getting deeper into my yoga practice and meeting people who were like minded, who also valued the quiet life, who valued a more mindful life. And I think it's really important to note that if you don't quiet your external world and even your internal world, you're not going to be able to hear this sometimes really, really quiet voice within you that's telling you where you need to go. So, with this journey that I've been on, the intuition has always been there. It's always been there. I've had this inner knowing within me the whole time. I do think that things played out exactly how they were supposed to when I was at times knowingly ignoring my intuition. I don't regret a single thing. I think that by ignoring my intuition, I was able to learn so many things that I wouldn't have been able to. Well, it's hard for me to say that because there totally could have been. I'm never going to know. There could have been another opportunity that allowed me to learn all the things in that journey.
But really quickly, as you say that, I just don't want to forget. As you're saying this, I think of a child not listening to their parents. Their parents obviously, in most cases, know, like, if you're going to do this and it's going to end badly, so don't. And they give the warning. But the kid has to experience it for themselves at the end of the day. And they'll never know if not. And they'll make the same mistake later if they listen to their parents in the moment and don't do it. They're going to want to do it later. So they're like, I never tried that, or I never, like
Yeah,
did what I wanted to do. And
that was
so, yeah, I think
absolutely,
you made the
that
right
was a
choice.
really good analogy. Um, and I feel like that's exactly kind of how intuition works. Like, there's an option to it, you know? And it's kind of like, do you want to take the path where, I don't want to say it's easier, but perhaps more true to who you are, or you can learn it the hard way. And I did choose to learn it the hard way. But the intuition was always there. And the reason why I am at where I'm at right now is because I think if it's something that's really, 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 really true to you, and if you really want to listen to your intuition and you're not willing to quiet it, because throughout this entire journey, I didn't want to quiet my intuition. I wanted to connect with it, I wanted it to always be there. So by allowing it to still remain in my life and still be connected with my inner voice, it was just a constant knowing. It was a constant knowing that never left. And it was quieter at some points and louder at other points, but it was just an inner knowing that was always there. And it got to a point where it was like, I don't think that I can ignore this voice for the rest of my life. I really don't think that I could ignore it for the rest of my life. I think it would harm me in so many ways because I know myself. I know my truth. I know my light. I know my shadow. And I'm so grateful for the experience I had 2 years ago that really forced me into my own inside world and allowed me to get to know myself. Because had I not known myself, had I not deciphered what inside me was other people's opinions and what inside me was my own, I wouldn't have been able to be where I'm at right now and know and say, no, everything that was being thrown at me, that's not my truth. That's someone else's truth. Perhaps that is
Mm-hmm.
someone else's truth and that's valid and that's beautiful, but that's for them. That's not for me. And how could I go through this life? How could I have the relationships I have, the friendships? How could I be sitting here starting this podcast, wanting to create this beautiful community full of truth, full of shadow and light and authenticity and just divine realness. How could I do this and not trust my inner light the whole time? Like, that's why I'm so grateful to be recording this podcast now and not within, like, this particular episode now rather than in the past year, because I feel like I would have shown up and felt like a fraud talking about my intuition but not listening to it. Like, it
And
worked
not
out.
even acknowledging that it's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything in divine time.
It's honestly really interesting the way that that works out. And I think it happens more when your intention is to align with it. I think sometimes you don't even have to put in a crazy amount of effort for it to fall into place because
Mm-mm. Because really all you can do is like it's too overwhelming when you say these are all of the things that I want to work towards and I want to do and these are all of the things that I want to accomplish. It's good to have a list of like this is where this is where I feel I'm headed. But then all you can do now is take those steps right now. What can I do today? I can't record 15 episodes and create a cover art and publish and pay for a whole platform all
yeah,
today. But we can record an episode today and in the next week and the next week and then slowly like take our step by
yeah,
step. And things will come up to change our path and to alter what we expected to happen, but it'll still be whatever it was meant to turn
I
into.
completely agree. It really, I think surrendering to the current stepping stone that you're on is a really good way to allow things to fall into place. And having that, having the intention of where you want to go and keeping that in your heart is a big part of the journey, but just allowing yourself to be with where you're at, it just gets you there. It just gets you there. Just let it happen and it's going to work out. And I'm so happy for all of the moments that, like, in this journey that I'm on right now, I had so many moments where I would just be like, you know what, I'm just going to trust the process and trust that everything is playing out exactly how it's supposed to. And there's going to be a point where it all just clicks. And I genuinely feel like I'm there now. And I'm so grateful that
Oh,
there
yes.
were moments, there were totally moments where I was consumed in the suffering. I was consumed in the disharmony that was in me by not listening to my truth and my intuition and what my body and mind were telling me. Um, but I think for the most part, I did just allow it to be and let it play out. And I don't have any regrets in that because I got to experience one of the probably best experiences of my entire life. I assume that's going to be the case. Um, but I also know that there's going to be so many amazing things in my life. The traveling, the friendships, the food, like the homes I'm going to live in, the trees I'm going to hug, like the tea.
The communities we're going to cultivate.
Dude. The beginning. This is just the beginning.
It really
Yeah.
is. But this will still, I know it will hold a special place in your heart and in remembering your journey as you further evolve as a human being. And you're like, that was a big stepping stone towards being the bad bitch that I am.
Yeah, I think that the love that I have experienced will be foundational in the rest of my soul's journey. I mean, I know that all of my past lives and all of that is also just as foundational, you know, but there's certain experiences that I'm like, I know that this touched me in a sacred way, and just the honor of that experience. Um, I've cried so many times in the past, like 2, 3 weeks, purely out of gratitude.
Oh, that is so
God, I'm
beautiful.
so grateful. I'm so happy that it's awesome. It's awesome. I do have a really cool question that I was thinking about during this meditation Shavasana today.
Yeah.
And it does connect a little bit about, it does connect a little bit with what I experienced and have experienced in my life throughout the entirety of these 23 and a half years. But I thought it was really interesting to talk about, what do you think the difference is between intuition and instincts?
I think instincts, to me, viscerally, instincts seem like more of a visceral reaction, survival mode
Yeah.
response. Um, I don't think your instincts tell you things. Your instincts cause you to physically move in through the world in a certain way, like in the physical realm. I think intuition is more connected to emotion, connected to relationships with other people, and with inner decisions that you might not even realize you're making, that guide you in a certain direction and cause you to show up for something or cause you to try something new or spark a conversation with someone that you felt you needed to have. And maybe that's purely from feeling it's your intuition and tapping into that person's energy and feeling something that they actually needed to like let out but couldn't do. And so you're providing space for that. And then in intuit or in instincts, yeah, it feels way more visceral, like when someone touches you and your instinct is to pull away, or your instinct is to run up to someone and smother them in a hug and a kiss, or um mm, it feels more physical, more rooted in the root chakra, in the ground, in the fight or
Yeah.
flight. um yeah.
I thought it was so interesting because I feel like I really want this podcast to be catered to people of all walks of life. And I was talking to my family a little bit about this, and they were like, wow, that's such an interesting question, because I feel like for someone who is just now getting to know their inner world, I feel like it can be a little confusing trying to decipher what within me is intuition and what within me is instinct. And I think that you
Mm.
really made such a beautiful point that it is visceral, it is survival based. It's kind of like a reaction to your environment rather than a response. Intuition is like deeper instincts in a way. Like there's more depth to it. It's not reactionary, but it is kind of like a flash, if it makes sense. It's like a quick download of information or a sensation that you might feel. It's still the same sensation of like, oh, maybe that person is not someone that should be in my life, or oh, maybe that person is someone that I am going to connect with and I am going to want to go up and hug and kiss and all the things. It's like a knowing rather than an overtaking of like a need, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to
It does make
express. I'm
sense.
happy it makes sense. I'm happy to hear that because
It
it's
does.
a little,
And I
it's different.
hmm um, I was gonna say because we have the definition from Merriam-Webster of intuition, and then I just looked up the same Merriam-Webster definition for instinct. So I just want to read them really
Love that.
quick. Um, Intuition is the power or faculty of attaining direct knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought and inference, immediate apprehension or cognition. And then the instinct definition is a natural or inherent aptitude, impulse, or
Mm.
capacity, a large, inheritable, and unalterable tendency of an organism to make a complex and specific response to environmental stimuli without involving reason, behavior that is mediated by reactions below the conscious level.
I think I
So,
think the two key words there were impulse and tendency, because it is so impulsive. It is so reactionary to um reality. And I do think that instincts can have patterns, and like it can be a habit to a certain point. Like it's my instinct to go and hug my mom, or it's my instinct to smile when someone looks at me. But that's not my intuition. I have a tendency
and that
I have a
instinct,
tendency to, if
mm,
someone looks at me, I'm going to smile at them. Like that's just instinct. That's literally like a survival mechanism of me being like, "Hey, I'm cool. We're good. I'm nice. I'm not a threat." And it's a tendency that I have, and it is actually also completely impulsive and unconscious, but it's not intuitive at all. Unless
and that's the whole
they're
difference is the unconscious versus
good.
consciousness. And I think the word capacity in the first definition of instinct, it says or capacity. And to me, that means you have the capacity to change your instincts. Your intuition is a level of consciousness that you can attain that's always there within you, and it is the inner knowing, the inner
Mhm.
truth. Whereas the instinct can be changed. If your mom did something to harm you, your instincts to hug her are going to change. Your instinct when she approaches you is then going to be to back
Yeah.
away. It's a survival mechanism. And I was talking with my friend yesterday, and we were talking about anxious and avoidant attachment
Oof.
styles. And we were both avoidant attachment styles. And so we were both talking about how our instinct when someone approaches us with a lot of love and a lot of I need you, I want you, I expect these things from you, I want your energy, is that our instinct is to back away and to step away and not want to like get involved in that connection and fall into that connection and that
Yeah.
attachment and the lurching on. And he said, but what if you could change your instinct to run away from that connection and meet them in the same place? Not necessarily in the place of anxious attachment, but rather than running away, meeting them where they're at and then finding a way to come together as a unit and talk through what's needed in that moment and how each person's needs can be met without person feeling like they're being suffocated and so that their instinct is to run away, but rather how can they love each other in the way that the other needs to be loved. And
It's
yeah.
beautiful. It's beautiful. I love that. I just love that that was talked about, and I think that that's a perfect example of instincts. Um, I feel like with avoidant attachment style, like that's what I have too. And the fear, it's so survival. It's so survival. It's like this person's going to suck so much out of me. Like that's my fear is like, oh, my energy, my light's gonna be taken away. Like I need to make sure that I'm not gonna like lose myself or anything of the sorts. And it's really important to allow yourself in those moments to be seen and to trust that you're not going to be taken away. You're not going to be lost in another person's love. Yeah, I had a really interesting conversation about that. It was brought to my attention that that can be a reaction to being loved, and I was like, that's so fascinating to me that it's a fear of being lost in the love, or yeah, it's a fear of yourself being taken away from the love in a way. At least sometimes my experience. But
No, I completely agree.
it's
Because
so
it's
crazy.
like, then, because I feel like we're also really caring people and we don't want to harm the people in our lives that we love too. Like, we might love them back. But then it's like, if I do something to hurt you, I'm going to feel entirely responsible for your pain and your suffering. And I'm going to feel like I'm the only person that can cause you the pain and I'm the only person that can fix it. And that's a lot to put on oneself. So instead, it's like, I'm going to run
Yeah,
away.
it's a commitment. It's a commitment to love. But boy, is it a beautiful commitment. I mean, I think like our friendship is something that gives me so much trust like in so many ways it does heal
Mm.
my own attachment because it's something that feels so secure where it's like I can love you fully. I can quadruple text you and send you much love and I feel very secure in that. I'm safe
Yeah.
doing that because I know you received. And I also know that I can send you no texts within a week, and that's also going to be safe and secure. And it just shows me what secure love feels like, where it's like this can be given and this can be not given, but there's still a level of safety where we're not losing ourselves in the relationship. We're not giving so much of ourselves away in the relationship. There's no self sacrifice, I would say, in the slightest. Like, there's no part of me that's self sacrificing this in this friendship. And so many of the relationships in my life, I feel that way. Um, so
Mm.
I'm grateful for that experience, big time.
Mm.
Honestly,
Me
any
too. Every
talk about our
day.
friendship, I will take it.
I talk about you at least once a day
No, like
to someone
I was
else.
talking to my mom today. I was like, I know I've literally mentioned Erin like 15 times today. And she's like, no, I love it. I feel like I already know her. And I know I met her briefly, but I want to talk to her. And all
Oh.
this.
On my date last night, he was asking me how I got into yoga, and I just shared the whole story of us meeting in middle school all the way to where we reconnected. And you introduced me to BSA, and then we did that, and then you took me to Rising Home, and then yada yada, podcast, all, everything, like
Yeah.
everything.
Oh,
Uh,
story to tell.
it's a great
Busy.
story. We have an epic
We have an
friendship.
epic, epic, beautiful, stunning, magnificent, magical friendship. Ugh, and I was talking to our good friend Angelina the other day too, and I was like, just the fact that I have one is insane. Like, literally, just one is crazy. But the fact that I can list, like, literally right now, 5 people that I connected with in that way is insane. And I think, honestly, to anyone out there who is seeking that out, working on your chakra system from the bottom up can really, really help because I feel like once you start connecting with the present moment, connecting with your body, and feeling safe within yourself, first step. Second step, allowing yourself to move and feel and create, finding what sparks that joy of creation, whether that be a form of art or just taking in art, anything of the sort, sensuality, letting yourself feel the pleasure of being alive. And then
Hmm.
going out there and meeting new people and putting yourself in situations and trusting yourself and then, moving on up the way that we've talked. I think that it's really going to put yourself in situations that allows you to meet people that there's just such deep soul connections, such, and I'm
Yes.
so excited for you to find that because you just have to trust. At the end of the day,
And that exactly what you said was an example of how you move from survival instincts into alignment with your intuition, because it's easy for the instinct to be every time you're in a new group of people or you're presented with an opportunity to find yourself in a new group of people, that if you haven't like gone through those steps, that you're still on your instincts. Your instincts is to say no or to show up and be shy and like and hold yourself inside, because if you let it out, your brain is thinking, I'm going to keep you safe. I'm not letting anyone see your real personality. Don't laugh too loud. Don't crack a joke. Don't like sing randomly. Like, don't do it. And then when you can move into your intuition, you like, oh my
I
God.
think another thing on the other side of that same coin, going into a group of people, putting yourself out there, meeting them, but because you feel alone, because you feel lonely or anything like that, your instincts are like, okay, I'm going to find a friend. But they're not the people that are meant for you. Being able to trust yourself, be alone, literally just be alone with yourself. I'm telling you, the journey that I was talking about that happened 2 years ago was me literally feeling so alone and lonely and depressed and all these things, but it really forced me to be with myself. It really forced me to get to know myself, become my own best friend, which in turn allowed me to open up to all of these beautiful people in my life and have so much intimacy with them, and it all fell really into place. And so be confident being by yourself first and foremost, because that is the only thing that's going to allow you to find the people that feel the exact same way. And you don't, I don't know, I don't want to say you don't want people who can't be alone, because that's a lot of people in this world, and there's still beautiful, beautiful people out there who feel that way. But I think in order to find a really intimate connection with, to this extent, to the extent that we feel in our friendship, you have to find people that have a lot of intimacy with themselves. And you're only going to attract that if you find that within yourself too. So climb that ladder, girl, or boy, or they, all of the above.
All of the above. Even if you're a
Even if
cat
you're a cat
or a
or a
mouse
dragonfly or a
or a
bug,
bug. I guess that's a dragonfly, whatever.
all walks of life. Hmm.
I feel so good right now.
Dude, I do too. I'm looking at these beautiful trees outside of my dad's window. It's these beautiful oak trees with Spanish moss, and I can totally see some of the pollen on them, and I know that that's causing so many people issues, but it's so colorful, and I'm seeing all these different colors of green and yellow and blue, and it's so cool if you just look at like an everyday thing and be like, how many colors are there actually? Like, you know how there used to be, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but on a computer, you can like take your little cursor and hover over like part of the picture and it'll
Mm.
show you like that exact color. Sometimes I'll think like, how many different colors are there in this one shot that I'm seeing with my eyes right now? And I just know that it could be literally the full spectrum.
Infinite. I think even white is infinite, because white is the container of all the
Yeah.
colors. Or maybe it's like ultraviolet. I don't know.
That
It's weird. It fucks with my mind.
we got to get a light
We gotta get Sham up in here.
up in here. Well, he's neuroscience.
I know, but
He would probably know.
I feel like he would
Probably.
know.
Or Angelina. She would probably know.
True, because the eyes
Eyes. That's.
and light
Yep.
refraction.
She knows how that shit works. So, other than climbing the ladder and trusting yourself, what do you think are other ways that can allow that intuitive voice to be more easily heard and um, understood?
I think in an example of you're stuck on a problem or a situation. You're in a situation and you're unsure of where to go. You have a decision to make. It's not something that you're just in and it happens and then you're like, oh, that happened. But you're faced with a decision and you don't know what feels right. You can literally practice breath work because I'm not going to tell you to sit down and meditate and close your eyes because that does not. You can talk to some of the most experienced yogis, modern yogis right now. And I just read an article that what's his name, Dharma Mitra wrote about meditation, and he says, I have never practiced the meditation where you just sit and close your eyes and try and fall into the abyss of consciousness and energy because I don't find any purpose in that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that because different things do work for different people, and that's a fact. But the thing that is going to help everyone on this earth, no matter who you are, and there's different styles, but breath work, breath work, breath work, breath work. And I'm talking, you can do this while you're driving, while you're walking, while you're at lunch, when you're in asana practice, especially, not even especially, all of these times. And then if you do want to sit down and you just want to sit in a silent space on the ground, get yourself grounded, do breath work, do 5 minutes, 10, 15, 30 minutes of it, depending on what kind of breath work you're doing, and then sit in stillness. Because if you're not activating and staying conscious with your breath and what your breath is doing and allowing it to move and flow through your body, you're not going to get there and there's going to be all this stuck energy, and the breath is what gets that energy moving through you. It's what gets all the things that you've been holding inside and the feelings and the emotions that have developed within you that you didn't want to face in that moment to come through. And it will, I guarantee, bring you some clarity, even if not that first time, but maybe the second, maybe the third. And once you start to practice that, God, now I'm my thing now that is helping me immensely is realizing that no matter who I'm with, what I'm doing, I can always just take a deep belly breath and just sigh it out and make a sound like
Oh,
every time I do that, my stomach just settles, my chest loosens up, it stops feeling tight. I physically let go of the tension I hold in my shoulders and my body. And I started practicing this with my friend George. We'll just eye gaze or not, and we'll just look at each other and be like, and then we'll just like flow into conversation. Or like he'll say something and I'm like, that's exactly what I was thinking. And it's just like we're tapped into this place that's not this physical space that we're in, but it's this like other space that we're existing in together because we let go of our
yeah,
tension and we let go of our aversion to being seen and vulnerable. And so there comes the intuition flowing through.
exactly. I love that you
Yeah.
brought that up. I think breath work is a fantastic way to bring more inner peace. And I think if you want like a more scientific approach to it, breath work really calms the nervous system and it takes you out of this survival mode, this instinctual mode. And so when you are able to quiet the ego that's just like, I just need to survive, I just need to keep going, it allows for more quietness within you. And it allows for a better ability to hear what's going on the inside. Breathwork is fantastic for calming the nervous system. And so when you're able to calm the nervous system, it allows for different energies to flow through you and for you to receive different messages, and it's so fantastic. I'm so happy that you brought that up. Um and it's so much more doable than sitting in silence in this very, very loud world because it gives you something to focus on, um, and just do. It's so important. It's so important. And like you said, you can do it in any circumstance, any circumstance. Just quieting this inner world. Um, I think also putting yourself in different circumstances that you're not used to can help you get to know your inner world as well and get
Because it'll bring up new things. Well, just because it'll bring up new things because you're in a new experience, it'll allow you to see different parts of yourself.
exactly. You'll notice more what comes up within you because you're things are standing out more because they're different. It's not so habitual. And I think when you are constantly in the same environment, it's hard to decipher like what is literally habit and what is my world. And so going and exploring new things, new people, new podcasts, new music, new environments, new experiences, all these things can allow you to see what comes up within you and help you decipher like what within me that's coming up is me or the outside world or habit or anything like that.
Hmm.
I think I
Yeah, I know. You do know. I feel like that's been such a journey for me when it comes to realizing what's right for me and actually learning to trust. I think one of the biggest lessons in my life that brought me from instinct to intuition was facing facing myself and facing what I wanted for myself versus what I thought I wanted because of what I saw the people around me doing. And in college, I slowly started to learn that, not even really until like my final year when I started my band and I started surrounding myself with really all the right people, like all the people that truly made me feel good in my body and made me feel inspired and creative and like I wanted to take charge. And I had such an identity crisis because I was like, oh, but I'm an actor. I'm an actor. I'm an actor and I want to be in films and I want to be a movie star and I want to produce and like blah, blah, blah. And this like part of my identity that has been that way since childhood. And I always had these dreams of going to Hollywood and being a Hollywood actor and then coming out here and still thinking, oh, I want to give it the college try, I want to do it, and being like, why don't I feel good around these people that I have connected with for the past 4 years and also moved out here to do the same thing, but I don't want to go to the things that they're inviting me to go to. And when I do show up, I feel weird and I feel like I can't be myself. I feel like I'm being judged. And I'm like, am I just forcing myself to continue to do this because I feel like I need to and I need to? Am I trying to impress these people or am I trying to impress myself by doing this thing that I just don't even think I was put on this earth to do? And it just doesn't feel right. Like it feels like I'm playing a part. And I still love to play parts. I still think it's so fun. But I'm like, that is not my like soul's purpose. It's not like what's fulfilling to me at all. And I make excuses like, oh, these people just don't get me or we just don't align and it doesn't feel right because of like the people that I'm meeting in it. And it's like, no, it's just like this whole world and this whole career path is just like not, it just doesn't, it's like a dud.
mm-hmm.
And then I think that was one of the big lessons of trusting, going from instinct and just saying, well, I just have to keep going and I have to keep pushing and I have to get comfortable around these people and I have to get comfortable with putting myself out there in this specific way. And then it was just like there's a reason why it hasn't felt right for multiple years now since I've started to learn to listen to my body and its reactions in certain rooms and in certain thought patterns.
It's really interesting living in this world because a lot of people throw their opinions at you and how things should be. I think that that's just an objective, like, fact. Like, that's known. I think whether you're spiritual or not spiritual, whether you want to just live and have fun, or whether you feel like you want to evolve big time and transcend whatever. I think it's so true that there are so many so
Opinions.
opinions um
Why is that so funny to me? I don't. I'm thinking of like
it really
onion. Opinion.
what accent did it even sound like? Um, I've been fucking around with my accents recently, and I guess it really just it overtook me. But that's okay. No, there's so many opinions being thrown out, and like, I feel like when you start saying fuck that, fuck what the other people think, like, why, literally, why would I live my life
According to your rules.
according to your opinions? Like, that's your life. That's great. Maybe that's true for you, and that's fantastic. Please keep living that truth. Why would I trust your opinion over my own? Okay, let me say this real quick too. That doesn't mean don't be open to other people's opinions, because I think being open to considering other people's perspectives is the only way to grow outside of yourself, you know? I really need to make sure that point is emphasized, because I am all for being open to learning and gaining different perspectives, but I also need to trust myself. I also need to be true to myself. And if it comes to a point where I'm like, okay, this is what's going on for me. This is what I'm feeling is my truth and all these things, but I am being given evidence that allows me to broaden my mind and broaden my perspective. I want to take that in and I want to sit with that. And then I want to make my decision. I want to be open as much as possible to information and knowledge and potential wisdom that's given to me. And I think that my inner wisdom is just as valid as another person's wisdom. But if someone comes up to me and, I don't know, I think if someone comes up to me and shares their truth, I want to listen to it and I want to consider it, and I want space to sit with myself and to understand like what is showing up internally for me to be able to decipher how I want to go forward. Um, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to take their opinion for truth without considering my truth first. Mm.
Exactly. And you have to see how their truth sits in your body,
Yeah.
how you initially respond to that truth. How does that feel? What aligns, what doesn't align with yours? Your eyes look so beautiful right now. I've been staring at
Sunset
them
in the sunset. What is happening?
in the sunset.
What's happening to my brain? Oh,
I make people really nervous with my presence because the past few days I've been having conversations with people and they're like, "What the fuck? I can't speak my words." And I'm like, must be me. Sorry.
okay, Erin. I love that.
Just
You
saying.
do
Just
have that
saying.
effect on me.
It's okay, you do too. Pookie.
So that's quite the close up. I really hope we're not using the image. The video, they do. You know what? You can see this is me.
I'm eye gazing with you. So pretty. Let me take off my.
We're eye gazing, y'all. I don't know if y'all have ever eye gazed, but it's actually one of the most intense and beautiful experiences I ever have with another individual. Like,
So good. I love it. Oh my gosh, I told George about angel walking, and so he was like, we'll definitely do
oh,
that at one
that's
of our events. I'd love for you to lead
definitely
that.
need a solid 2 hours for that, depending on how many people you have. But
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
I want to teleport you here, you fucking bitch. Can you just come
Girl,
here?
I'm so excited for the day that I show up at LEX. It's so funny because before you were going, I was like, fuck LA. I don't want to be there. Not for me. That place is not for me. Like I would not survive. I don't want to be there. City girl. Nah, that's not me. But now that you're there, now that you're settled in and having all these beautiful experiences, it's so cool. You can find anything wherever you're at. Okay, maybe
Yep.
not wherever you're at. I do feel like there are some places. Yeah, there's some places that you probably cannot find people playing like the handpan and like I don't know.
I don't know. I think
I don't know.
I still think it exists
Where my mom
everywhere,
grew up.
or people who at least would want to.
I'm just thinking
Hmm?
about like where my mom grew up. I'm like, there's I don't know. I don't know if that. What? No,
Okay,
because my
let's.
mom exists.
Yeah, exactly. She came out of that
Yeah, she
place.
came out of that place. There's cool people. Find the cool people, y'all. Manifest them. Wherever you're at, you can find it. The whole point of the story is that I want to go to LA. You found cool people.
God,
There's a beautiful side to it.
there really is.
Hmm. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about with intuition?
I really feel like we got it. I really feel good about what we said.
A little book recommendation that
Mm.
talks a little bit about intuition and deciphering like what's meant for you. And this book is phenomenal for so many different reasons, but Aaron recommended it to me about a year ago, and I had the honor of passing it to a dear friend of mine that I made recently. The Celestine Prophecy by
By James Redfield.
James Redfield. Highly recommend. Beautiful, beautiful book. It's actually no, you talk about it. You're the one that shared it.
Well, it's a story about energy exchange and trust in the universe that's hidden within an adventure
Yeah.
story, an adventure of a man searching for these manuscripts in Peru and runs into various people along the way who help to guide him and lead him to where he needs to go. And it starts with him being um, very analytical, second guessing everything, very nervous, rightfully so, because he's being chased by people and his life is at risk throughout the journey, hence the adventure. But the more he keeps going, the more he learns, the more protected he is. It's just, oh, it's so beautiful. The interactions he has and what he learns from each person along the way, and also from those manuscripts that he finds are, it's just so beautiful. So it's life lessons and it's tactics for trusting yourself and obtaining energy, this infinite energy that exists on this plane that we can always have access to, that we can always tap into. And gosh, it's just so beautiful. It's so inspiring. And it reawakens something in me that was definitely dormant. And I might even read it again soon to be re inspired, you know? But yeah.
It's really fantastic. It's like a self help book within an adventure story. It's like a pleasure book that helps you grow and evolve as a person, and great to read before bed or at a park, at a coffee shop. Even reading it to a lover or a partner, a best friend, having that experience together is really special. And yeah, I really love it. The trees were glowing for me for like a month after I read it. Like literally, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Highly recommend reading it during springtime because seeing the way that life comes back after winter was just, oh my god, it was beautiful. Beautiful.
kind of like The Alchemist. Like the if any of you have read The Alchemist, that's also a spiritually grounded adventure story. I feel great about this one. I hope you all enjoyed.
I hope that if you didn't learn anything, you enjoyed having two little best friends in your ear telling you that everything's okay and everything's falling into place if you just allow yourself to trust the process. And um, I hope that this did touch your heart and touch your third eye in some sort of way. And thank you
Boop.
for listening. Um, Catch us in the next episode. I'm excited for the next topic. Um, I'm excited for all the
Same, because
topics. I'm excited for all the topics. Also, any chance to talk with Aaron about life, like, give it to me. So,
give it to me,
me,
mama.
mama.
Can you hear that?
I did. Was that a car?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so
It was
loud.
really loud.
My intuition tells me he's angry man on the road. He's angry man on the road.
Third eye while it's like it's like in Mean Girls when that one girl is grabbing her boobs and she's like, "There's a 30% chance it's raining outside." It's like storming. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. It
No, it was her boobs. It was her
was her
boobs.
boobs. It was totally. Okay. Well, I love you, Aaron,
I love you, Evelyn.
and
I love this container.
I love you, whoever is listening. Truly, I am sending so much love and just life. I'm just sending life your way. It don't need to be all sunshine and rainbows and love and peace and happiness. I'm wishing just the full divine experience of life for you and for you to be present and a witness and free flowing with all of it. So, thanks for coming and
And we'll see y'all on the other
on the
side.
other side. Bye.
Bye.